Hello and welcome to this video. Today is 29th of October. I wanted to talk about some trading ideas. I'm seeing some opportunities in some stocks. I wanted to share with everyone. I think they might provide some opportunities. So I'll start off with SPY right here. You're seeing a daily chart of SPY. You can see that SPY closed just below resistance at 390. You can see that this area was a support previously, and then the support was breached. It then became resistance. So SPY is now just below that level at the moment. You can see that the momentum indicators are improving. You can see MACD is about to cross above the zero line. So last time when MACD crossed above the zero line and stayed above the zero line, there was quite a bit of rally previously. You can see RSI is also moving higher, making series of higher highs. What I think will happen is this. If it's able to get through this level, which is 390, there's a good chance that SPY challenges this 200-day moving average. This is around 410. So I don't see much of a resistance between 390 and 410. Yeah, you could say that there would be some resistance at 400. Usually those round numbers tends to be area of resistance. But I think once it crosses above 390, I think the bulls want to push it above, push it to the 200-day moving average. And in fact, bears would also prefer it to for it to come up to 400, this area, because last time when it came up to this level, there was a big rejection. So I think there are a lot of bears sitting above it. If it's able to get back to 400, I think bears would try and attack at that level. So I think they would also prefer that it goes up. The other thing that I would mention is that last time SPY had rallied from here to the 200-day moving average. So this was a big rally within a 6 weeks period, and because it had run up so much in such a short period of time, it ran out of gas. Right now we're seeing something similar. SPY has been rallying from this level. So this level is 350. So if it rallies from 350 to around 410, that'd be about 60 points, and it could very well run out of gas. Ideally, for it to break through 400, what would be helpful would be if SPY could basically consolidate, go sideways for a while before attacking this 200-day moving average. So this area is not going to be that easy. But the only thing is that I don't want to see it go up to this level very quickly, 60-point move. So this happened when? This happened 13th of October. If it goes up to this level within a month, it might run out of gas. So that would be the only thing. But for me, at the moment, I think 200-day moving average looks possible, especially if it's able to get through 390. If I look at QQQ quickly, so the QQQ also rallied nicely, up over 3%. It needs to get through this 50-day moving average. So there is resistance around 285, which is, I'll just draw a line quickly. So this level. And then next area of resistance would be around here, 292, 293. Once it's able to get through this, then this level comes into play, which is around 310, 311, and that also brings the 200-day moving average in play. You can see that the momentum indicators are moving up. MACD is crossed. It needs to go above the zero line. It hasn't done so yet, but it's heading in that direction. RSI is also moving higher. So those would be the levels I'd be watching. If I look at IWM quickly, that's looking quite positive. It is now well above the 20 and 50-day moving averages. Looks like it wants to challenge the 200-day moving average, which is right here. This is around 187. You can see that last time when it challenged the 200-day moving average, it had gone above it but failed to hold on to it. It fell back quickly. Momentum indicators are looking positive. You can see MACD is about to cross above the zero line. That's good. RSI is also moving higher. So it looks like there's a little bit more to the upside. If I look at individual stocks right now, so I'll start off with Apple. So this is Apple. So I'll clear through Apple. Very strong day on Friday, up over 7.5%. It closed right below the 200-day moving average right here. So it had tested this level. Momentum indicators are moving higher. I think if the market goes up, overall market, I think Apple would be one of the beneficiaries among the big tech, because of the fact that the other big tech companies reported weaker than expected earnings. A lot of people now have confidence in Apple. I think this confidence could push the stock prices higher. So the next area of challenge would be around 165 and then around 170, 171, those two levels. 200-day moving average obviously is important, but I think given the momentum indicators are moving higher and positive, and as long as the Federal Reserve next Wednesday doesn't say anything which basically pushes market lower, I think Apple can move higher. I'm looking at 165 and then 171. Those would be the two possible levels. Support would be right here. First level of support would be right here around 145. So those would be the levels to watch out for Apple. Next up is Tesla. Now Tesla is now stuck in a range. So we've got around 200 on the downside, 205 on the downside, and 230 on the upside. So 230 is where the 20 EMA is sitting. So Friday it started off weak but finished strong. So I'm looking for it to break through 230 on a closing basis. If it does that, then the 50-day moving average, which is around 250, comes into play. The momentum indicators are improving, but they're not as strong. You can see RSI is moving higher, but still remains below the 50 level. You can see 50 level acted as a resistance right here. So this is this 50 level, the green line. MACD crossed right here, but still remains below the zero line, which is right here. So I want to see further improvement in momentum indicators. So for the moment, I want to see it close above 230. It failed to do so on Thursday. So if it does that, then that would suggest that it wants to move higher and challenge the 50-day moving average. If I look at Amazon, for example, next, I'll look at it on a weekly basis just to see what's going on. So on a weekly basis, when I look at it, I see that it has closed below this trend line. You can see there's weekly wicks. It had closed below this, so this is definitely looking weak. But I don't want to see it below this level. If it closes below this level, which is 100, that would suggest additional weakness. It needs to close above this level right here for the technical picture to improve. So it looks like it has a lot of work to do. MACD is on a weekly basis is below the zero line. It has crossed the downside. So the weekly chart is not looking all that positive. I think it needs a lot more structure between 100 and 123. It needs a lot more structure before a technical picture starts to improve. If we look at Google next, so Google again is looking weak, lower lows. So it's got the weekly 200 period moving average right here, which is the near-term support. I want to see Google on a weekly basis close above this level. So this is around 105, because you can see there are lots of wicks right here. So if it closes above 105, then at least it would negate some of these weakness. On the other hand, if it closes below 91 on a weekly basis, that would be negative. Looking at Microsoft, so for Microsoft, I'll just draw a couple of lines that are relevant. So one of them is here. and then the other one is right here. So this one is 250, the top one. So it has now defined a weekly range between 220 on the downside and 250 on the upside. I want to see a weekly close above 250, and that would start to change this technical picture. So right now, there's quite a bit of negativity. The price action is quite weak. I think it needs to form a structure between these two levels, 220 and 250. A close above 250 would be positive. A close below 220 would be definitely negative. Moving on to some of the other names where I'm seeing some positive price action. This is Ford, one of the value-oriented company. So what I'm seeing is that I'm seeing positive price action. So you can see that there was a big decline, a rebound, and then pull back again to this previous level, and then rally. This week's price action is quite positive because it has closed above this candle right here. You can see that if I show you the line chart, you can see that it formed a W pattern. This W pattern is positive, and this is happening at an important support level. So this is quite bullish. Next area of resistance would be right around here, around 16 and a half. So this is a positive price action. RSI is also on a weekly basis moving higher. I want to see RSI get back above the 50 level. That's the green line right here. But this is looking positive for Ford. GM is similar also. GM also formed a big decline right here, rally, and then retest of this low, which is positive. And then GM also formed a W pattern. If I show you the line chart, you can see this is a W pattern. This is a double bottom pattern, W pattern. This is a bullish pattern. You can see that previously when it formed another W pattern right here, there was a rally, and then there was another W pattern right here, there was a rally. So this is a positive pattern. So I'm expecting follow through ahead. So if I bring the line chart, so near-term resistance would be obviously around this level, around 42. And if it's able to get through this level, then the next resistance would be around 48. So overall, this is looking positive. It has the double bottom shape. You can see MACD's slowly moving higher. RSI is just closed above the 50 line. So there's a lot to like about GM on a weekly basis. Next up is American Express. So this is also looking quite positive. I'll just draw a line right here. You can see last week was a doji candle. You see there was a doji candle. So this week it closed above the high of last week. So that is that's bullish. You can see that it created quite a bit of structure within this area. So right here there was quite a bit of structure. So I'm looking for, so the resistance would be obviously right here, and then which is around 165. So American Express is definitely looking positive. MACD is about to cross, looks like it's forming a double bottom also. You can see RSI has a double bottom pattern. If it closes above the 50 level, that's definitely positive. So American Express is looking good. Home Depot is up next. So this is Home Depot. You can see that it formed quite a bit of structure right here, and then this candle is quite positive because it has closed above the high of this candle. You see this green candle right here. It closed above the high of this candle. If it's able to get through this middle of this channel, then I think that it has a good chance to move up towards the top of the channel. 320 would be the next area if it's able to get through this area, and then the top of the channel. You can see MACD is crossed again on a weekly basis. If it's able to get above the zero line, that would be really, really positive. You can see RSI made a double bottom pattern, and then it also closed above the 50 level. You can see that on a weekly basis, it's stayed below the 50 level for a long period of time. Over here, it had gone above the 50 level, then it pulled back. It created a nice structure. So I really like this structure. Pull back, rally, and then retest the lows, and now it's on the up. So there's a lot to like about Home Depot on a weekly basis. Next up would be Costco. So again, this is also looking quite positive. If you look at the see, it has a higher low pattern, so it has closed above this level. So this is a very nice looking pattern. Good strong bullish candle. RSI is also moving higher. RSI closed above the 50 level. I want to see MACD cross and go above the zero line. The resistance would be right around here. There's also a downtrend which is coming down like this way, and you can draw. So those would be the so that would be another area of resistance. So that would be the first resistance, and then up here. So there's a lot to like about the weekly chart. You can see on a weekly basis there is a higher low being formed. So if it's able to get back above, that would also make a higher high. So there's good structure, good pattern happening on a weekly basis. Another old school company that's looking positive is Fortune Brand. This is Fortune Brand. So this one created, consolidated for several weeks, and then this candle basically closed above right here, the highs of the candles. So that's looking positive. You can see that RSI is moving higher. You can see that there is a W pattern or a double bottom pattern right here. So this is a bullish pattern. So this pattern is a bullish pattern. So it suggests that there is, because this pattern developed over many weeks. You can see, quite a few weeks it's just went sideways and then broke to the upside. So first area of resistance would be 63, and then the next one would be around 71. You can see MACD is crossed again, and it needs to go above the zero line, but it's doing the right thing. RSI is moving higher. RSI hasn't crossed above this level 50 on a weekly basis, so that would be the next challenge. But this looks quite positive, at least for a short-term trade. I'm not saying it's going to go all the way back up here, but at least there could be a decent trade here. Another one that I'm seeing a good opportunity is Lululemon. So this is Lululemon. You can see that it spent quite a bit of time in this range. So I'll just draw a channel right here. You can see that it spent a lot of time inside this channel, and it has now broken out to the upside. So you can see lots of weekly candles, inside this box, and then it closed on Friday above this channel. So that's positive. You can see that MACD is starting to move higher, RSI is moving higher. So there's a lot to like about this on a weekly basis. So this would be the next area of resistance around 355. So I think the pattern is quite positive on a weekly basis. A couple more names on a weekly basis. This is Eaton Corp. So it's one of those old school companies. Big decline, a rally, higher low, and then it's now moving higher. So it's also formed a nice double bottom structure right here. So this is a positive looking structure right here. And especially when you see something like this happening on a weekly basis, that's quite good. Now it needs to get through this level, around 154, closed at 150. So if it can get through here, then I think that very much the top of the the all-time highs come into play. Momentum indicators are moving higher. MACD is about to cross on a weekly basis. If it goes above the zero line, that would be wonderful. RSI, you can see, has gone above the RSI 50 level. So this one is looking good on a weekly basis. Another one that's got positive price action is this Hersheys. This is the chocolate maker. You can see that on a weekly basis it has broken out to a new weekly high. So there's a lot to like about this. There's the big uptrend. It then consolidated for many weeks and months, and then we're now seeing a breakout to the upside. So I like this one a lot. So I think there's some trading opportunities in here too. Well, that's all I want to share with you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like the content, please consider subscribing, sharing. Thank you very much.